Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our last game of the night. We have, what is it, Meme City Esports versus AOE God Squad. I remembered it.
Oh yes, after what's been a long night of mid-league action, we're still rolling in Meme City Esports. I talked about it before draft started. Cowboy, the team, even though they're 5-0 at this point, they have the longest game time average, so everyone buckle up. We're going to be seeing what these teams are drafting, as Rutledge making his way back to the top lane. I think it's going to be Meme City Esports on the blue side with AOE God Squad on the red side, because that's a signature Shen pick for Flaming Thunder, I believe it looks like, already locked in, and something that I think should actually be able to do a pretty solid job against this Renekton that Meme City have picked up.
So, we are absolutely breezing through Champ Select, so I just want to say, sorry for the huge change. Draft Law, the website that we usually use, is down right now, or at least for our producer, it's not working. So we have to switch. Totally scuffed. We had to throw this overlay together in like 2 minutes. We are so sorry.
Shout out Dory for being a beast behind the scenes, putting this together. Excellency production. I mean, like, we're low-key unmatched. I mean, is it safe to say that we're smurfing on this whole thing? I mean, I don't brag, you know? I'm not a big bragger, so I'm not going to be the one to say that. I'm just going to potentially throw it out there. As these teams are getting into the second phase of bans, man, this ADC pool, AOE God Squad not one to let the Senna go through. Once again, I guess that pick, they don't want to go up against that one. I thought the early lane, I mean, they have the Leona once again, and I felt like that did a solid job shutting down the Senna. They might be potentially worried about, though, Cowboy. I think the Seraphine-Senna combo could be a potential dynamic duo in the bot lane there, so I think trying to get rid of that one is a solid effort, as we do have, like, a mystery little fifth ban there from AOE God Squad. I reckon it's a Jhin or a Kai'Sa low-key. Not going to be the case, though, as Jin's going to be locked in. And a really solid pickup by here for Beastlance. I like this a lot more than the Callista, even though, I mean, the Callista was banned away. I didn't see the Kai'Sa was banned away earlier, low-key. But nevertheless, I mean, I can't believe the Jhin actually made it through as well. They chose Meme City Esports to take away the misfortune instead. I mean, Meme City Esports, their name of the game is their team fighting, Cowboy, and taking away some team fighting powerhouses in the Kai'Sa, in the Aphelios, in the Misfortune makes total sense, and they're going to set themselves back up for success here. Top to bottom, I think they picked in order, somewhat unintentionally perhaps, but still kind of a good meme, as we're going to see AOE God Squad Sharp Circle get his hands on his signature Akali once again.
And I just want to point out, we don't have the overlay to complement it right now, but after last game, teams have switched. So we do have Meme City Esports on the blue side or the left side, and then we have the AOE God Squad on the red side.
Yep, and it is going to be that Akali locked in to round out both compositions. The Maokai support once again locked in for Endril there, Cowboy. And it was such a huge factor, I think, in the previous game. I'm really excited to see it once again locked in. On the other side of the rift, though, I want to go back to this top lane matchup. Flaming Thunder, I think, on the Shen as a really big opportunity to make some big plays. I like the combination of the Shen with the Hecarim, especially for late game team fights. You're going to be wanting to get onto the back line. It's going to be a little tricky to do so, though. AOE God Squad, they've got this team fighting kind of game plan in mind. I think if the game scales once again, they're going to find a tough time kind of dealing with the monstrosity of late game scaling that is once again Meme City Esports composition. They've got the Swifty Ezreal that's going to be going all over the place. That's going to be really tough, I think, for the Hecarim and Shen to kind of take down. But if Swoon Baboon gets caught out even just a little bit, you know, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for pick potential off of just like an engage out of nowhere. from the side of AOE God Squad. You know, they've got that signature Leona pick that inspired their logo once again on the Rift. I'm excited to see that back into the bot lane. I'm going to stop being so excited about all these different picks. I got to find some different adjectives, Cowboy, for the rest of this.
Welcome to my world.
I'll be most interested. I think my matchup to watch here is going to be the mid lane here.
I agree.
Frosty coming back into the lineup, Rutledge once again now back into his home into the top lane. Swoon Typhoon, I think, has substituted out, as he said earlier in chat. Not no ordinary substitute there in the back pocket of Meme City Esports, but I think this is their preferred lineup and something they're going to continue to look to dominate as they're looking to finish off week number 2, Cowboy 8-0, joining Glaive Esports, who are already sitting there getting comfortable up on the throne. AOE God Squad, I think, trying to turn things around a little bit and hoping to bounce back after what was a tough loss in game number 1. Their mentals, I think, are going to be tested, and if they're able to turn it around, I think that will really speak a lot to what kind of teams we're dealing with in the mid league. Just like Omega Gaming were able to bounce back, I'm hoping AOE God Squad maybe learned while watching that long first series that anything is really possible, and they shouldn't count themselves out just yet, as I think they found themselves a lot of comfort picks, and I'm hoping that even they've learned just from their previous match how to try have kind of schemed, maybe, okay, we saw just now how game 1 we threw that lead. Now in game 2 we're going to come back, salty run back, got the Leona, got the Hecarim, got the Akali. We know now maybe what we need to do into this second match. So I'm hoping they're able to kind of adjust how they manage the macro off of their early lead that just exploded. They started off the game so well. It was like 9 kills to 2, and then Meme City Esports just found a way to come back. So AOE God Squad, a really strong early game team, Cowboy. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage the early game this time around, and if they're able to secure those big leads that do end up winning games. We're talking Barons, we're talking Ocean Souls. They came up just too short in the previous match. I'm hoping they can turn it around here.
I completely agree. And going back to that mid lane matchup that we were talking about, Akali versus Seraphine is going to be incredibly fun to watch, truthfully, because Akali, obviously that mobile assassin, just jumping all over the place, you know, going boo, 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 you know? And then Seraphine's just singing.
Just like that. Yeah. I know exactly what you're telling you, know, like a flip here and then a dash, then boom.
Yeah, then there's an explosion somewhere over there, and then I think there's like another, like, you know, there's like a Hecarim too, something like, you know. But then Seraphine, she just wants to chill back. She just wants to sing, roam, help her team. You know, she just wants to be fun, you know? So we're definitely going to have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, and I think to carry it, to Cowboy onto that point there, I think this composition really suits the Meme City playstyle so well. They're going to be looking to not fall super far behind this time in the early game, because Rutledge is on that Hecarim pick. It's going to be hard, though, as I mentioned before, cracking Flaming Thunder on that Shen pick. He's going to be really comfortable on that, and I think this kind of global map pressure from the Shen, Cowboy, is potentially what AOE God Squad is kind of looking for to help their macro, to help take over the game. They're going to be given immediate access to one, protecting Beastlance and the other carries, and also taking over around that dragon and maybe looking to get in early, around a 25-minute soul is what I'll be looking for AOE God Squad to really focus on, and maybe let Rutledge run around maybe in the top lane, let the Renekton do as he wants, swim around the river and splash around, but AOE God Squad, that's what I'll be looking for. That's kind of my blueprint for success for them. Meme City Esports, they've got the Ezreal, they've got the Maokai, Seraphine, Lilia again on acid. He's going to be landing, I'm imagining, just crazy 5-man lilting lullabies again, absolutely carrying and taking over the game. Obviously going to be my player to watch on the side of Meme City Esports. Frosty making his return. Meme City Esports, there, I feel like powered up even more so than before. Now they got their regular mid laner. They got to be feeling comfortable. AOE God Squad wanting to turn around their week. Gotta show, I think, here that they can really hang with some of the top dogs in the mid league, Cowboy.
Well, we've been rambling for just a little bit too long here, so I'm gonna have to toss it to a break, and next time we see you, the game will be over. So, you guys can have fun in however long this break will take with Gungeon and Zephyr, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Excellency Esports here on the Week 2 of Mid-League. We're bringing you our second set of the night into the second game, Omega Unleashed versus, oh my apologies there, AOE God Squad versus Meme City Esports Rush. If you're just joining us, Meme City Esports Rush managed to take the first game after a daunting early game where they absolutely got slandered in the bot lane and then came back together through some superior teamwork and managed to pull off an intense victory. I'm still your play-by-play caster, Zephyr, joined by the lovely Gungeon as always, and we're gonna try to get through this the best we can.
We're gonna keep the energy high, we're gonna keep the memes good, and we're gonna keep
the memes were never good, bud.
Hot.
The memes were never good. I don't know what world you live in, but I know one Jabber lives in. Sadly, it's not going to be paired with Beast Lance's stun, so they're not going to really find anything additional there.
And in terms of draft, we did see Acid get his Lily again in the first round of the red side pick, or on the blue side pick. Again, we saw how effective he was in game number 1, getting an actual 5-man sleep. Just pretty much wiping the side of AOE God Squads, and he's able to get it again, something that's comfortable for him. But we do see Sharp Circle again on that Akali, something that he was super proficient on. He just wasn't able to really get through that front line that AOE God Squad built with the Cho'Gath, but a lot more squishy members.
Definitely some room to get in this time around.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say, notably though, MC, they have their official squad. Rutledge has moved back to the top lane. Frosty is now within the mid lane here, so your primary members are raring to go.
Yeah, I mean they gave their mid laner a good 30-minute nap, and he's coming back amped up.
Yes,
for the game
well rested. That's what we want.
The well rested buff is here, and he's again. Rutledge played pretty well last game, being able to keep Swoon Baboon alive in a lot of those team fights. But at the end of the day, this team revolves around the amount of work that Acid puts into these team fights. Into obviously not able to secure the the Ocean Soul at the end of that game, but it really didn't matter. A matchup I really want to pay attention to is this mid lane, though. I have seen Akali versus Seraphine matchups a lot, and it is very similar to that matchup we saw in game number 1 in terms of the bot lane, where if Seraphine oversteps, mispositions, or gets caught out by the jungler and has to use her summoner, she gets very susceptible to be constantly dove and killed by Akali. So that is something that I want Melscout to kind of focus on and try to get this Akali ahead so that the snowball starts.
Right, and I think this time around, like you said very much earlier, she's going to have a bit of an easier time, especially given the fact that they don't have a front line that's as oppressive as what the Cho'Gath was in that first game. So I'm interested to see how Rutledge, a more aggressive-based laner, is going to pull off with that Renekton. I'm curious if he even will find success going straight into Flaming Thunder and what he might do in the mid game.
And honestly, if you really think about what worked in game number 1 for AOE God Squad, I like that they're kind of doubling down on it. Instead of having that top lane Renekton that he was trying to... Was it Renekton? I'm just completely blanking. Who was the top laner for AOE God Squad in game 1?
Gragas.
Gragas, yeah. Instead of having
Gragas,
yeah. Instead of having Gragas there for disruption and just being a tank, they have the Shen to double down as a diver with the Akali. And honestly, the Akali Shen Hecarim combo to dive this backline looks very strong because, again, if Frosty or Swoon Baboon ever get hit by a lot of...
big Rue on Sharp Circle. Andril, he's in for the pike, but he's going to be on the turret. Jabber's just there for the response. Going to throw down the stun. Didn't even need to use that exhaust. First Blood find its way on the Sharp Circle, and that's exactly who we wanted it to find its way over to.
They're playing into it. This is how you get your win con ahead. Get Sharp Circle ahead. He played super well in game number 1. You have utility with the Shen ulti always to keep him alive, and looks like they're going to play towards that matchup. Early Dragon is going to be that Infernal Dragon, so again, a good snowballing Drake for the side of AoE Gods.
Good taunt there. Can Acid play off it, though? Flaming Thunder going to be forced to flash. They're able to get a huge chunk of the AP magic burst, and that flash is definitely something to play off of in the future. Interested to see how far that will go. Notably, no huge aggression this time around in the bot lane that got AoE such an intensive lead, but they are able to move it up with the priority and take this first straight.
Yep. They see Acid up top. They get the dragon. Get early dragon stacking. Get the Infernal Dragon on Akali. Just a win-win for AoE God Squad. And even with Flaming Thunder not having flash, it's not like he's too susceptible to getting solo killed by the Renekton with that auto attack denial field. And the second he hits 6, the amount of map pressure he's going to put, especially with how aggressive we saw Sharp Circle play in game number 1, now he has a Shen ulti on top of that.
I do like the Shen ulti. We didn't touch on it yet, of course, because it's literally obvious, but Stand United is going to put so much pressure on Meme City, and this could be a time where it gets used. Meme City coming in there, Frosty able to get the Encore. Actually, there is the Stand United, able to shield up Jabber for just enough period of time to save his life. I mean, could not be more perfect.
I am so impressed by Angel. He was able to knock away Shen during his taunt, prevents any damage from going even onto Frosty, and yeah, Shen is able to keep that bot lane alive. That was super aggressive by Frosty, but AoE Beastlands and Jabber played that pretty well, being able to sidestep the Seraphine ulti. Don't get much, and they do get the TP out from Seraphine. Overall, a trade for 1 global ulti for 1 global summoner.
Right. Now, Sharp Circle, pretty aggressive on the opposite side of the jungle here. That's going to be a 3-man pull. That's the big root with the stun combo. He's in the Shroud as much as possible, but he's going to use perfect execution to get out. He could go back into Andril. The burn does not take him, though. Acid with the flash, but that's not even close enough. I am so surprised Circle got out of that one.
Play that super well, and God, he's outputting a lot of damage. That team looks a lot squishier than what we saw in game number 1. Obviously, the champions being changed up, but this is... If Flaming Thunder didn't have to use that ulti down bot, that would have been almost a full wipe for the side of AOE God Squad. I'm very excited to see how Sharp Circle plays with the tools that he's being given in game number 2.
Right, and I feel like last time if we were taking nails and hammering them into, you know what? I'm moving on. It's way too late for me to try to make an analogy. Doing my best, Gungeon. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
Ooh, Acid. Back towards the top side, spotted out pretty immediately. Notably, Acid's not even close to securing a Lilting Lullaby yet. He needs to pull back and get some more XP on his belt.
Yeah, he's been trying to force a little bit too much, especially in these in that bot lane and then also in that top lane. Not able to get anything, and Melscout has an entire level lead on him and has been able to pick up that dragon, so advantage Melscout in this early game.
Right. I'm curious to see where he's going to put that onslaught of shadows in terms of a huge gank. There's not a lot of available pressure, but Acid's back in the top lane here. They're unable to get the stun that they want. Noticeably, he does not have Lilting Lullaby, so there's not much he can really do to prevent Flaming Thunder from walking out of that.
And Melscout's just going to be able to grab this red buff as well. And again, Acid is falling really far behind in terms of XP right now. This is... uncharacteristically, he's trying to force a lot when he really doesn't have to.
Ooh, big True Shot Barrage, did that? That did.
It did.
He stole red buff. I had to check that for a second. I apologize. But wow. Great job on the play off that one, making sure that the steal really did not come through. And technically, if they really wanted to aggress on it, they could have actually went for the kill. But, you know, safe. You know, safety, safe.
Ooh. Sharp Circle might have a look on Akali, but nothing's going to happen. And Acid is still in this top side. Maybe he looks for something if Shen not even over, Force just walks up onto that Renekton. They are really trying to step behind this global.
Yeah, it'll happen eventually, like it did in the last team fight, but I'm curious to see how or where those kills are going to end up. It doesn't feel like anyone has sustained a substantial lead. Of course, Sharp Circle definitely has the favor on his build to find those backline kills, but he hasn't quite been there. Ooh, Melscout could be looking for something. Coming in, curtain call. No Zenith Blade to start it off there. Going to be the flash from that Flaming Thunder with the Stand United. Both of them, all those ultimates expended and nothing to play with.
They'll probably just try to get the dragon, but a little bit of misexecution. Melscout pretty much Hecarim ultied into a wall, and Jabber went far right with his Leon engaged, but they're still able to burn both flashes from the bot lane, and they're going to probably be able to pick up the dragon up here as well. Just going to be an ocean, so we're going to either see a cloud or a mountain rift. Not too exciting, but a Cloud Soul Hecarim is going to be very fun to watch as he speeds around the map.
I mean, you can't get much better than seeing the absolute Zoom fiesta. It's like watching my dog after you tell them they're getting a treat. Oh, no True Shot Barrage that time around.
And Flaming Thunder has been set significantly far behind. I mentioned that it wasn't going to be too big of a... that Acid might have been wasting a little bit of his time, but this CS lead is very sizable. And they're going to drop Rift. Dude, they are... Flaming Thunder did something.
Well, there's not much Flaming Thunder can do in terms of the early game against Renekton. He's definitely getting hard aggressed on at every moment, and while he does make the impact for cross-map play, I mean, that's about it. And now you've got a huge chunk of gold sitting on Acid and Rutledge. What are you going to do with it? It's been very calm in the waters here.
I think this is one of those situations that I would really like if Flaming Thunder tried to freeze that top wave and punish MCE for breaking that tower a little bit early, because right now, if they send... Ooh, mid.
Oh, yeah. Oh! The Encore not quite hitting the turret. He is going to be forced to flash. Apologies there. I think I blinked.
What an all-in by Sharp Circle. Was able to dodge out from that Seraphine ulti with the perfect execution, and that's what I was talking about. Akali, if he ever gets any sort of opening onto the Seraphine, can absolutely burst her down, and this could be an opening for AOE God Squad to pick up a win here today, because we didn't mention it, but they are 0-3 in the day. They did drop both games today to Glaive Esports Rose.
Oh, don't bring that up. That's a sour thought. I know we like to talk about big narratives, and Jake is probably creaming himself somewhere, but no. They're awesome. They're going to win this.
I believe in them. This is Sharp Circle's game.
This is Sharp Circle's game, baby. He's already got the completed Mythic running with the Night Harvester there. He's got the perfect comp to run into. All he has to do is make sure he's not locked down by Rutledge or Endril at some point, or Acid's Lilting Lullaby, since that guy was able to literally Lilting Lullaby the entire team last game.
I am very confused of why Renekton here is going to be going the Eclipse. I feel like with having Shen having his auto deny field, it is going that squishy might become a problem, especially when he gets locked down by the Shen of Leona. And these
Ooh, Endril, bad spot here. Stunned through by Jabbers. He needs Blade to follow up. Mel Scout as well. He's trying to find a place to push him back, but the stun with the combined Solar Flare, I think this tree is all but dead. Turned into planks, I say. An easy kill for Mel Scout.
Ooh. Timber, and they're going to look for a dive here, bot, too.
Baboon's got to get out of there very quickly. Okay, curtain call to start things off. 1 shot missed, 2 shot missed, 3 shot missed. Can he hit the 4th? Yes. Okay, either way, though, Acid's going to be punished out here, coming in a little bit late. Great Lilting Lullaby on the Melska, but he steps back into him, and as a result, gets taken back. Now, the big ruse, Rutledge comes through there, uses the Dominus, as we do finally see the Encores. Frosty picks that one up, continuing to turn this one out. Endril's finally up to the plate. Frosty pushing it through for the double. Fantastic play, as we saw Meme City reassess the situation and get to the spot.
I don't want to use this as a narrative, but we can see that the fatigue is definitely getting to the players, because there's a lot of abilities being missed here. Sharp Circle misses the second part of Perfect Execution, which would have executed out Rutledge when he was getting low, and they're not able to execute Rutledge. He's able to stay alive, and great ulti by Frosty to keep most of his team members alive. Yeah. And as the chase down happens, that's pretty much perfect. That's what Seraphine wants to be doing in a lot of these team fights, boosting up her team, chasing down the enemy team with all of her slows and roots and CCs, and they're able to turn it to a 2-for-2, and they end up getting that bot lane outer tower.
Yeah, no, Meme City, even though they were in the face of some losing lanes and some of these preemptive solo kills across the board, they're still able to turn around and find success through their optimal macro, which is something that this team does very, very well. It's the reason why they're one of the best teams in the league right now. You don't base a team based off how well they win. Every team can win well. All right, that's League of Legends for you. If you ask someone what champions are good when they're fed, they would literally show you the entire list of League of Legends, because that is something true. But a team that can play from behind and find their way back in towards victory, now that is an unteachable type of lesson that can be learned.
And this is something I love watching Meme City.
Wait, that was an oxymoron.
Whatever. Something that I love Meme City, something that Meme City do, which I love watching, is just whenever an objective is up, you can see how many pinks that they buy. That entire team is just kitted out with pinks. And if you can look at what blue side vision looks like, there's absolutely no vision for the side of
they're clean, man.
God Squad. They are making so that you have to walk blind into Maokai, into Seraphine, and to Lilia, and if any of the CC hits you, you will be going to sleep, and it's night.
Curtain call in here. Rutledge immediate with the Dominus is a big stun from the Solar Flares. Frosty's going to be launched upon, but not before Jabber gets absolutely exploded. You try to see Mel Scout come through to the backline, but he's torn apart too. Sharp Circle's looking for the kill and does find out Angel, but not before Rutledge picks it up. Beast Lance, the only one left alive. I think he's going to get out alive, but that's 4 members there of AOE God Squad, and it didn't even feel like it was a fair fight.
And it somehow, we went from close game to AOE God Squad dominating once again. Fantastic ulti. And this is what the problem is. It feels like when they get into a position like this where they're behind, I don't understand why AOE God Squad opts to fight for a situation like that. They have zero vision. They're face checking all of these champions that work so well in the choke. They get absolutely picked apart, and now not only do you lose the Cloud Dragon, you lose the tower, you lose 4 kills, and now you're 5,000 gold behind.
Yeah, I mean, Meme City continues to assess, and let's be honest here. The 2 Drakes and maybe 3 or 4 kills that were assumed at the beginning, while that is nice, it isn't a surefire explanation or a path that screams, oh, we're about to win this entire game. Now, notably in game 1, we saw an absurd lead on Calista, and that's what really led us to go, oh man, AOE God Squad has this one in the bag. Much to our surprise, they did not. I think this is a lot more evened out, and the gold difference was definitely nowhere close to what we saw in game 1. So I actually think Meme City Esports has had a lot of control across the board for a very long time, even starting with back on that rift for the first turret in top lane.
I agree. It's just the way they play around objectives is just far
so good. So
yeah,
good.
it's so much better than AOE God Squads, and it feels like sometimes AOE God Squad just gets into their own head about trying to stack up these early dragons because they're like, oh, we're so close to getting, like, this is going to be right before our soul, and they opt into fights that they don't need to. They didn't have core items onto the Shen yet. They don't have his mythic. They didn't have vision. They're face checking into Seraphine, and everything goes bad. And now, not only are you behind, you're very far behind for 18 minutes in.
Now, as much as we like to praise Meme City, they do have a tendency to falter in the early game. They can come back and play really well, and if they do have the early game secure and they don't leak a little too many kills, the bleed isn't so bad, and they're able to manage it pretty well and finish out very, very nicely. I will say, though, a team that knows how to close out victories, you know, quote-unquote maybe glaive, in the future would be able to take those 4 to 5 kills that they find early and make something happen. Now, speaking of making something happen in the mid lane, Melscott pushing back as they get the taunt onto Frosty and take him out immediately. Huge lilting lullaby to play around with the root combined from Maokai there. True shot barrage onto Melscott to pump it out. Sharp circle doesn't quite find the perfect execution. Now Ezreal turning this back around as Rutledge finally arrives with the Dominus ready to go. They turn it around. 3, 4 kills across the board. Beast Lance, Flaming Thunder, the only ones left alive, and that's Rift as they're going to push down this mid, probably all the way to inhib.
I think they get an inhibitor here, and they had such a good engage onto the squishy backline, but again, Seraphine's able to keep them alive just enough for the reinforcements to come in, and they just absolutely wipe. And now it's looking like an absolute blowout. Yeah.
Perfect timing too. You've got literally maybe 30 seconds on the Baron, which is typically, you know, you got to wait for that 20-minute mark to really assess any inhibs unless you have an absolutely daunting lead. And this is just the timing, the consistency. Meme City taking something small and turning into an advantage time and time again. I'm honestly really, really impressed by this team as it is. Not my first time seeing them, but with the new squad, it has been.
I will say, this is... I've talked about Mr. Olaf being almost a cheat code for wins in mid-league, but we should not see Acid playing Lilia anymore. You should not give this man Lilia, because the way he deals damage, the way he kites you around in these team fights, again, his early game pathing is not as clean as I wish it was, especially in this game where it felt like he was wasting a decent amount of time, falling at least a level and a half behind Melscout.
Right, yes, he was.
Comes to team fights, he's just always in the right positions. We always see 3 to 4 man sleeps, and he's putting in so much work that you can genuinely build a comp where he is the main damage dealer, which they did in the last game. He was the main damage dealer with a bunch of supporting utility, AD carry bot lane, AD carry support top mid, and it worked because he's just able to output so... Oh my god, Melscout's gonna die like super minions.
It's still a little early for them, I'll tell you what. Yeah, there's a bit much there. It's more than the Lilia, much to Nobility's point. I don't know. Yep, Jabber here. He's a little bit too far forward. Can Endril manage to pull off the root? Yes, he can. That's going to be the flash, though. They get the stun off from Jim, but does it really matter? Does it really matter in the face of Meme City? That's an easy pick up there, and they can just straight turn for Baron with no problem.
And it looks like Jabber's inting, but he honestly has to make that play because he has to get some sort of vision. Look at the amount of vision control that Meme City have in that topside jungle. There's nothing you can do except walk into the dark and hope that not 3 people are waiting. Yeah, you're just on your knees praying, and if he gets caught, and that's the life of a support when you're this far behind. And they throw the Constellation Cloud, but
yeah, it's good. It's Cloud, I will say, but it does amp them up towards Soul. But can they make it out of here before Meme City gets back? That's looking lullaby into Dominus. Great onslaught of shadows to deny the sleep there. I love that interaction. Impressive on that side, but at the end of the day, they've still got Baron. It was one Cloud Drake, and yes, while you have to contest Soul consistently, their base is open. It's already open.
They already have mid lane open. If they keep one member on the side of Meme City just amping up super minions with Baron buff at this point, there's not...
Ezreal? Quite literally?
You can't deal with them, and Seraphine works especially well when you get far ahead. Seraphine is a champion that when you're far ahead, she just doubles down on you because it is so hard to kill a decently strong Seraphine with her shielding, with her ulti, the amount of utility that she has, and it feels very doom and gloom for the side of AOE God Squad.
Yeah, AOE God Squad definitely not looking great. I will say they do have great pick potential if they can find it, but Meme City Esports for some reason has gotten so concise, and the just general cohesion of how they play around each other and the team as a whole is very nice. Ooh. Now, Acid, a little too far forward here in my opinion. That's a 3v1 just waiting to happen. You do have Frosty on the side with Angel ready to make a collapse, but that could have been a perfect moment for something. Ooh, Rutledge on the top side here, looking to take a fight against Sharp. Circle into the Shroud he goes. Mind you, that is the Stand United coming through the two of them. It's a 2v1 taunt out on that side, and a perfect execution just sealed the deal.
And honestly, that's a play that AOE God Squad pretty much opts into. They just want to get one pressure point off the map and hope that they can maybe try to turn this fight, but again, they give up inner tower, they're going to give up inhibitor, and they might give up the inhibitor.
That's two inhibs at 23 minutes, but they're going to take a fight before it can happen. Onslaught of Shadows straight into the back line. Acid looking low, taken out by Jin off the curtain call. Frosty the next to go. Baboon is trying his best to kite this one as much as he can. He's able to get the final E off and poke him out so they can't further aggress. Mind you, Melscout did go down there. Actually, they're going to keep going. They're going to keep going. Take the inhib.
They're just too strong.
Oh my gosh.
Minions just keep them out. And even they get a great fight, but the amount of damage that they're taking just because of the gold lead that Meme City Esports has, they just had to back away. And in the end, they still lose an inhibitor. And now, it was one single lane. You still have Baron up for another 45 seconds. And
this is disgusting. Yeah, I'd like... No offense, Shen's never going to be able to catch an Ezreal who has 2 cents behind him. Circle's coming in here with the Shroud, but straight into Rutledge he goes. Jabber's on the side to make something happen, but they're not in the right spot as Frosty came through with the teleport. All Fem members are ready to go, and that Dominus, though, is going to be ticking down. I don't think they can find anything else except clear vision and get ready for whatever objective they want to control next.
And if you are AOE God Squad, you need to make sure that this fight happens before this inhibitor tower siege comes in. If this is what they want to do, then you have to fight before, because when these super minions collapse on your bot
they can't do anything.
Well, they have to force. The Alamo has to be here because the Alamo's definitely not when you lose third inhib.
Ooh, big true shot barrage to start things off. That ult is now down. Jabber's in the back line. Big solar ult with the current call. Jabber's deep there. They do get the teleport off. Flaming Thunder comes through. Acid's just trying to take down. That's a great lilting lullaby to stun them all down with the sleep. Jabber's taken low, taken out by Rutledge's on the spin. Acid, though, is going to go down there on the response. Mind you, Flaming Thunder's trying to make his escape, but Rutledge is just clean on his heels. That's a double for Swoon Baboon here. And now Beastlance trying to find something. Does manage to get the grenade off. Flashes forward with the shot and manages to get both of them. Fantastic skill-based play there. Oh my gosh, what a turnaround from AOE God Squad. Just when you thought.
And a game of outplays because Jabber gets such a fantastic ulti onto Frosty. He gets him CC'd, he dies before he ever gets Seraphine ulti off, or honestly any utility or CC from Seraphine off. But we see Acid once again. That was going to be a full wipe for Meme City Esports until Acid gets a 4-man sleep. They're able to turn it, and then Beastlance turns it again on his end with the Gale Force outplay.
Right. I will say, they are able to constantly push out, tank some of these waves, and keep piling on the gold here on AoE. And with a great play like that, if they keep pulling off that, it's definitely promising to see them find success continuously. I will say Dragon is the next objective up, and yeah, AoE, I don't think they have the pressure, the way how to really contest this Cloud Drake.
No, if you're AOE God Squad, you give over a second Cloudrick. It doesn't mean much. It sucks that they get 10. Yeah. You just want to get as much gold as you can on the Jhin. Hope that he can just funnel all of that bot lane super minion gold into him and maybe try to take a fight at next Baron, because giving up Baron probably means you give up the game with the amount of siege you'll have.
Endril pretty far forward here, contesting out the vision, making sure that they get as much information as possible before this Baron in 20 seconds. A good point to make is that bot lane is still pushing there. I'm a little lost on the inhib timer, so if someone wants to point that out or help me with that one, I would appreciate. But either way, the response is still necessary, but Flaming Thunder has Stand United and Teleport. Just saying.
And I think this might have to be some sort of a hero mission by Malscout, trying to just ulti in and try to steal the Baron, because they're not going to be able to get the Jhin here.
No, they're all coming. They're all coming, Junjin. They're able to get it down to half. I think they've understood this point. Current Call is going to come through immediately. They're pressuring out this backline. They step up. They turn their attention. Big root there with the encore to get their triple charm. Beautiful job as Jabber's taking low. Mind you, Melscott's in the backline, but they're looking drowsy and asleep as they take him out. Now, Sharp Circle and Flaming Thunder, while they do assess the kills, they're too low to go any further in their backline. But Sharp Circle goes back and he finds the kill onto Swoon Baboon. I spoke far too soon. Beast Lance there. He has stepped up. It's a huge chunk. But he's got to return back to base. He's got to make sure that those towers don't fall any further.
Sharp Circle's playing out of his mind in these team fights.
Beautiful.
Seraphine got such a beautiful ulti there, and I thought that was going to be the wipe, but Sharp Circle's putting in so much work in the backline, able to kill off the Seraphine and the Ezreal at the end of it. If the Ezreal doesn't die, they could have tried to
pick Baron. Exactly. Yeah. I think it was relatively smart. Yes, he dies, but at the end of the day, Swoon Baboon was way too healthy. A good tank from Endril, and it's easy to pull through with the Baron.
And again, clutch plays are the name of this game. It's all on these little outplays that all of these players have that really turn these team fights, because they're swinging one way or the other hard due to really good flanks, honestly, by both teams.
Jabber especially coming through on the side lane, able to start things off even if he can't finish them. Inhib is now back up, so the pressure has definitely balanced out, and you do have the option for AoE to really hit a bit harder now that that responsibility is no longer on the field.
And if they can make it through the next 3 minutes, Akali will have death cap in about 1,000 gold.
Right.
That is going to be a really big item breakpoint. And again, Seraphine is a utility champion. She will build a lot of CDR, ability haste, a lot of little bits amounts of AP, a lot of utility. So as the game goes on, Akali will become this monster assassin that can really take out a lot of this Meme City Esports backline. But they're going to need to buy time, because with 2 open inhibs...
Hey, Endril. Okay, well, I mean, he's tanky enough to do something like that, so...
Yeah.
Just touching the hands together, the soft love on the shores. Jabber and Endril. Ooh, Sharp Circle. That's a great place to find yourself. Swoon Baboon does get hit by the E, and the dash with the perfect execution to finish the job. Now the tides have turned here. AoE can go for this Baron and ingress into any team fight they want. They are going to be slowed and poked out. Big Encore doesn't find anyone. Endril going to be rooted out as Melska goes deep in the backline, trying to find his way onto Acid there. Frosty able to push out the damage. Sharp Circle not able to launch forward, but Endril is looking low as low can get. He's able to dash as far as possible. Meanwhile, Rutledge over in their base, just tearing through as much as possible. Endril leading them on such a good goose chase, but not before Beast Lance takes him from the long shot. Flaming Thunder doing his best to stop the rampage of Rutledge, but Rutledge doesn't care. He needs to make sure that there's pressure available to play around once again. He's going to be looking to get out. He actually is going to go back in, gets the stun, but can't find the kill. Now Acid turning onto Jabber. He's too far forward from the last previous chase. Goes back in, gets the stun. There's Flaming Thunder with the Stand United. Curtain Call to follow through. Frosty looking pretty bad. Half health. He goes down. Unable to find the kills as he's taunted and stunned out. Acid over the wall, and that's the true shot barrage. Sniping through. Lilting Lullaby now onto Mel Scout here. Acid wants to keep fighting this one out, even though he does not have the team to play with. And I'll tell you what, that Lily has enough damage to do just that. That was way, 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 way extended for me.
Yeah, the amount of... They bought so much time there because, again, what a great pick by Sharp Circle onto Swoon Baboon.
Oh, so good.
by himself, but they're not able to get anything. And again, they're gonna have to give up this Cloud Dragon as well because they're gonna have to deal with the the super minions from Double Inhibs now.
Great job, Rutledge, on that one. That was such a smart decision. He knew the team fight was lost the minute Swoon Baboon, and Entril to pull them out constantly to prevent them from getting back to base. I love it.
Lilia is pinging that she doesn't have Smite here.
Big teleport, Rutledge. They don't have to smite, so the steal could come through. Root onto Melscout. Flaming Thunder goes in, but the damage is absurd. True Shot Barrage to follow up. Big Roots as well. Flaming Thunder taken out as the double charm comes in from the Encore. Sharp Circles in, but the damage is just too much to handle. Melscout and Jabber looking to escape as Rutledge continues to aggress further. Acid is just so fast. He's going to be the one to be the first. Melscout slowed by the mini waves, actually damaged by them more than anything. There's the bowling ball to slow him out. Lilting Lullaby to take him through. Now they look as Jabber. He knows it's all but done. The Root is on his way. The damage is through and through. The kill finds its way respectively over to Acid. And finally, a 2-0 series. Meme City Esports take the game.
And they were trying to make a comeback, but I'm so confused on the decision there to try to contest the third Cloud Dragon for Meme City Esports. It felt like they just panicked, or they just somewhat overforced and lost sight of what they needed to fight for, and they get wiped with this fantastic Seraphine ulti from Frosty.
Right. I will say, it just felt like the pieces continued to fall in place for Meme City time and time again. It wasn't just a strong consistency amongst the team with all their picks, but they also tended to macroly play it out perfectly across the board. I mean, whether it was assessing the next dragon, the Baron, pushing the waves into aggress, or even taking a loss and turning it into a victory by like picking 2 Inims up. I mean, Meme City had a plan for everything. But I'm going to pass this back over to Cowboy Cass and MacDewey one last time for them to take it away before we head to our interview.